This is where the fun begins.
Are you sure? So be it.
And I've always leaned towards if we're going to create something, we should check and see if it existed already to the fans, because it has way more value if we bring that in. And
Right.
it's like, why would I just replace it with something new? So if we're going to...
Why, hello, everyone. How are you guys doing? This was a little misstep of mine here, but I wanted to bring this video up. So check this out. Before we bring the guest in, you guys already knew who he is. I just want to bring this video up because I don't think he remembers this. So here we go. Why, hello, everyone, and how are you guys doing?
You're so damn wrong for that. You're so wrong for that.
Now, I was gonna get that Jakku one because I thought I had it saved. I don't. And then I was looking through because you know how you can have brands for your channel, like the Queen's Council brand I still have on here. That's on the Queen's brand, which I'm gonna go back to my normal brand. So hold on. Yeah, so hold on. So I know we're behind the curtain right now, but here we go. So yeah, so I was like, holy shit, I forgot about that. That was such a magical moment of yours with your daughter when you guys were playing, when you guys were joking around, when you guys were having fun, that I could not help but just go ahead and set off that video and use it.
When I'm around my children, I do get silly because I'm frowning all the damn time. I'm not judgmental, but I just got my eye on things. But I love to just have my girls be around me and feel happy and know that I'm happy. So yeah, I got down for the get down on that song, and you know what? I am not ashamed of it.
Yeah, we are. I'm not ashamed of it either. So let's go ahead and check it out one more time.
The J-O-B. That's right. At least I was on point with the music and everything. So,
I know. I wish it wasn't blurry, but that doesn't matter. It's just
it's
the
okay.
fact that we're having such
My camera wasn't, how should we say,
When are you not boomering?
That I was, yep, there we go.
When are you not boomering? All right, you guys. So I had this whole intro planned out, and I forgot how brands work. That once you go between your brands, it kind of switches out what's on your camera and stuff. So that being said, that's my boomer moment. But but I had this all planned out. I was like, okay, play my normal intro and stuff that I do for Cat Chat because I don't have one for Cantina Nights. And then show that video and then bring you in after I say something. So it didn't happen that way because I forgot how brands work when you switch through them. And
Score one for the boomer.
huh?
Score one for the boomer.
Yeah. Hey, you're the boomer. I have them like. I'm going off of your energy right now, sir.
Oh, okay. All right.
I blame you.
Calling it right. Okay.
Energy. It's your energy. So let's go ahead and see who's in the chat before I get into more of introduction here and stuff, because I'm all about the chat. I'm all about the chat. The chat. All right. So Corey Cochran is here. Hello. How are you doing? And Bateau. And then Soul Assassin, I already got him for this. He goes, oh, tonight on Calf Chat. He goes, the legendary Abu Nas takes on OG and her Inquisition.
Oh, that's
Will
good.
he break under her questioning? Click the
And this is
like
my steady hand.
out. And then so I had to correct him because I'm like, sir, you're at the wrong place, Soul Assassin. We are not at the cafe, we are at the cantina. So
We're in the
tonight's
discotheque. The Star Wars discotheque.
Yes, there we go. And then open airlock policy is here. He says, howdy, well wishes to the man himself with a knuckle bump.
Thank you, Open Airlock. And like I said, between you and OG, y'all guys are just ripping a hole in Disney's whole repertoire. I salute each and every one of y'all, and y'all got a banging show every Friday. I try to catch it as much as I can, especially because we are in different time zones. So it does be late for me, but I try I try to hold on before old man Abu got to go like.
We have the West Coast and then we have the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then Soul Assassin says, it's Monday, OG, cut me some slack. Must have started off your Monday in a bad note, then maybe.
Listen,
I don't know.
Soul Assassin, she don't give me no slack. I wouldn't expect nobody else. And I'm the president.
He knows how I am. It's like, I am, okay, so I get into my teacher mode. You know how I am. Let's have some homework, or whatever. And you know how I am with my joking around. So if you set yourself up.
Oh, and just the things that you did when you had me on here talking about Darth Plagueis, and then you put me on the goddamn spot when I wasn't even ready for it. You said, "Yeah, well, let's see how much you do know about." And I said, "Wait, what?" Questions.
That's my talking EU he's talking about. And I do love to do quizzes to see how much you know, but it's just fun. Doesn't mean that you're like a loser in the Star Wars lore. Like,
no, you just didn't give your guest a little bit of a heads up that this is going to be the quiz. You had me like, and who was there? Steve was there too.
So I even did that with Matt Wilkins, and I pulled a couple of ones on him too that he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So
okay, so we got to be on our P's and Q's with you, little Miss Something.
It's just how I prepare. It's fun quiz. Doesn't mean anything other than like, okay, let's see how much you know. Doesn't mean nothing, but let's see how much you know.
And I'm glad you don't have those little the little machines like.
Oh, I know. I should but no.
You should be getting that though. I'll put that into your repertoire.
Right. So, but Talking to You, it has never been canceled, people in the chat. I just haven't had a chance to schedule any interviews in. I do have a few people that I'm considering to reach out to, so stay tuned for that.
Oh.
So D Nicer. D Nicer says, hey, OG and Abu and chat. And so thank you for joining in. Fracture Filters here. And as always, like I said, I didn't get my normal introduction because I forgot how when you switch between brands, everything in your camera goes different according to that brand. So sorry about that. So if you guys are catching the replay, thank you so much for coming in and catching the replay. Hit the like button. Send a chat below that you were here. Let me know. And if you want to participate in what we're talking about, just leave your comments below as well. It's always appreciated when you come back in for the replay. And you also still communicate with us, so that's what keeps everything rolling and going on these channels. And it makes it a lot more interesting, and if there's any questions you have, then sure enough, I'll answer them. And then Fuck Norris is here. Hello, good people. And how are you doing? And of course, the one and only, the pimp is in the house. Up, chat. So what you doing? How are you doing?
Council's finest.
Yeah. Let's see here. And Trencher is here. We'll all be boomering sooner or later. Exactly. Like I said, I forgot all about the brand, how you switch between the brands and stuff. So I'm gonna have to take care of that and have some video because I forgot about that damn video. I forgot about it until now, and that's magical right there. So if you guys were here from the start, you would have seen Abu Nas just really jamming out. Maybe we'll play it again.
And
Yep.
of course, my favorite mug.
Your favorite. Thank you. You I don't have it over here, but you now need to order some other mugs too because I have other mug choices too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like these back here, so you can get mugs and I think believe
I
in
already got.
massage.
I already
Oh,
got
really?
that one.
And then
I
I
got
think
that one.
his too with Quinlan.
Quinlan. Oh, Quinlan
Mhm.
Voss. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And these two canon wise never got together. He settled with his girlfriend slash wife or whatever you want to call her now and his baby. So don't believe that Disney bullshit, okay?
He's taking the high road.
Oh yeah,
No,
he's
he's
taking
taking the
a
high ground. Yeah, he's on the high
road.
ground with his
He's
baby
on the high
mama.
ground.
You know what? I salute Quinlan. He had a rough time. He had a rough upbringing, but he was still a Jedi. But sometimes, hey man, I need to be back at the ranch. My lady, my lady getting ready to cook for
This
me.
lady is hot. Okay, so like, I mean, yeah, she's probably tempting to like all this dark side shit and stuff going on.
Yep.
But Colleen, she is an amazing woman, stuck by him with through thick and thin. He even promised her like, I'm gonna quit the order so we could start a family. So after we're
Mm,
done with the war, and that's what he did. Even though the Jedi were basically nearly wiped out, he still stuck true to his word. He finished what
mhm.
he needed to finish, stuck true to his word, and survived the attack on Kashyyyk and found his family and settled down.
It
So,
probably still bothered him knowing that the order was taken out by Darth Sidious. So
mhm.
I don't know. There could be another story, pertaining to his feelings behind it or whatever, or maybe he might. But then again, you don't hear nothing from him in the OT, so maybe he just like fall back and be like, okay, no, let somebody else handle it. I got
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah, I think I believe that eventually there are some of his descendants later on in the story. I have to
Yeah,
look that up, but I think there is. But let's see here. And then Dan is here. What's up? How are you
yeah,
doing?
Black
So,
Roy.
mhm.
Interesting.
And then, of course, the one and only Mark with the C.
This
There we go.
guy.
And he's setting you up. He is setting you up here. Look
Brother,
at that.
really? We only get just
Already.
getting started and you put me in the hot seat. God
Mhm.
damn.
You rebel scum.
I know. I know. I'm rebel scum.
Oh my God. Yeah, we will get through that as well. So thank you guys for all tuning
Thanks a
in.
lot, Mark.
There we go. Yeah, thank you so much. And let's see what here. So Soul says Quinlan still be acting up. Few years later, he helped Han Solo escape bounty hunters. Yeah. So
Oh,
he had
nice.
a little bit of like a little bit arc there, but relatively his word was always been his word.
Oh, wow. So. What book was this in?
I don't remember, but Soul probably does. He always has everything on hand, so he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
very reliable moderator
Yeah.
there.
Soul is like he's like at the top of the pyramid in terms of the lore too. So
It's a
yeah,
comic. That's right. It's a comic.
it's a comic. Okay.
Yeah, and then of course Mark is like I can just hear Mark laughing right
I
now,
know
like
he is.
like a bust up laugh.
He's tickled pink, knowing that he's gonna see me like, your boy gonna fumble. Yes, he is. Oh, there it
Mhm.
goes. Slip one, slip two. He's gonna take tabs and the whole bit. So
Yes.
then it goes all the way to the council. So yeah, I'm truly, I'm truly trapped.
All right. So part of my introduction I plan on to do until I had this mishap with the brand bullshit, is I want to let you guys know that I brought him in to do his exit interview, and you're still on the screen. I'm here with you. And I brought him in because of the fact that he is the one that encouraged me. Don't say anything, Mr. Leo. Keep your mouth zipped right now, even though you're on screen and I'm talking, because I know you're gonna want to blah 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 say something. Um, is that he encouraged me to start my channel, like my channel, like for Star Wars, my niche, my Star Wars niche, my channel, my platform. It used to be just native dancing, powwow dancing. That's I would just upload videos from my family traveling and all this other stuff, dancing and stuff. And then I started like watching a lot more content regarding Star Wars and the changes that was going on because of Disney. I did not agree with it. I did not like it. I did not even like from the start. I was like, this is bullshit. Like Disney's bullshit, okay? And then they decided to 2014 to say, the EU, we're just going to toss that because we want creative freedom and blah, 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 and quote unquote decanonize whatever, there's that huge debate on what's canon or not. And so I knew, but then, once I realized what they were doing with Luke Skywalker, I mean, we should have, I knew shit was going to happen, but the Last Jedi is like one of the last straw for many people who started the YouTube channels. And I voiced my opinion on that. He viewed it and he's like, hey, you need to make more content. And I was like, okay, maybe, kind of thing. And of course I was like watching, his content, and I started watching like Dark Council started to form, and I started watching that and just supporting and all, and seeing what people had to say, and like, oh, they have the same views as I do, and I started supporting. And so because of Abu Nas like pushing me, like, here you go, you do your thing, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. This is the reason why I brought him in to do his exit interview, because, he's going to step away. He may come back. You never know. You never know. I'm holding that grace that he will come back, but he's in his time of frame of life where he needs to take care of himself. And that's understandable. Like his priorities is not giving content to his channel and all that. That's understandable. I mean, we all get busy. We need to take care of ourselves and stuff. Yeah. And so that's why I brought him in for this exit interviews, because he was an influence on me on creating or changing the platform of my channel, and then to make it George Lucas era of Star Wars. So I did have that time period of reporting everything Disney was doing and stuff, to where it's like, that's exhausting. I want to create just George Lucas era stuff. I want to keep sharing that, keeping everything in front of you guys, to know, let you guys know that there is still the heart of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, I know like you're all tearing up. I could tell. Look at your eyes. And you're the only one on screen right now.
I'm keeping it together. I'm keeping it together.
I'm not crying. I'm not crying.
You crying? That's not
good. But because of that, this is why I decided to do this quote unquote exit interview. So what will his rating be after this interview? No.
That's when I'm going to start crying. I can imagine what my rating will be.
So do you have anything to say regarding what I said, Mr. Abu, as you take a drink, of course?
Yeah, I gotta. Like I said, it's coming. First and foremost, it is extremely humbling to hear your words in that manner. And like I said, it kind of caught me off guard, because it's been 6 years, and you was in the comment section. And it's a good thing that I actually, had somebody tell me, did you go to the comment section? I said, what is a comment section? He was like, no, on your channel, there will be people that may say something. So, engage with them and, answer their questions and stuff like that. So, like I said, I was brand new to the whole YouTube thing. And the only reason I did that was because everybody was, so sick and tired of me on Twitter, complaining about The Last Jedi. And they told me, let's make a video, which I did. I just didn't realize how popular it got, to the point where I was featured in a compilation of some of the earlier reactions and videos of it. And I was kind of blown away. And the guy who put it together, he said, no, when he watched my video, he was just so inspired that he had to put a compilation. He said he was going to definitely include me into it, which I was like unaware of until I actually saw it. So, but you, OG, you was in the comments and you was already putting out your thoughts as if you was going through the law, and just how Luke Skywalker is supposed to be, and how Leia was over here, and this, and I was just, like I said, blown away by how you pretty much was putting real detail into it. A lot of times people come in and just give their thoughts, and and their thoughts in their heart, but you just came in here like, no, this is what this was supposed to be, and this was supposed to go down like this, and there was no way that was supposed to happen. And I was like, wow, I wish, the way that you written, I said, damn, I wish I could have used it in my video. But since it came from you and you were spitting out your heart, I was blown away. And I said, and then it was the subsequent part two, and then you came into the comment section and you just broke it down. And I'm sitting up here like, wow. I did say in the comments, I mean, you got so much knowledge. Maybe you should come in here, because I was just spitting for my feelings. You was breaking down everything that a person with knowledge about the Star Wars lore. Because I didn't come in here talking about, I know the Star Wars lore. No, I was like, that shit is a piece of trash, and that's funny, So I left it on, how should we say, on a casual note. You did not hide any feelings in terms of how they bastardized the law. I was totally impressed. And I asked you, did you have a channel? You didn't say no. And I said, you know what you need, because I didn't hear nobody else doing, law videos. Well, at least for me, because like I said, I was still new at YouTube. Maybe they did have, people that was doing the law.
Yeah.
But from a woman's perspective and all that knowledge that you was putting down, and I was like, you need to go on there and make a channel and say the exact thing you put in my comments. You need to be out there. You are talented, way too talented for me. So I said, you need to do this. And you resisted. You did resist it for a little bit. And then every content that you comment that you put in, I said, okay, that's great. Blah, say blah. Did you get your channel run? Because like I said, I'll help promote it in the whole bit. Even though I didn't really have no followers, but come on, it's like, get people in here to just really put the message out that this was not Star Wars, this is.
Yeah. Let me grab this super chat. So Canadian 699, greetings, strange humans. Here's to a great show. Always nice to catch the stream every now and then. Thank you so much.
AH Entertainment,
Yes.
loyal supporter. And he's always rocking with us on Dark Council. I'm so happy that you're here, brother.
So Soul Assassin says, so Abu Nas is the reason why my Twitter feed is OG fighting shills every few tweets.
What can I say? Like I said, if you've seen my first video, my very first video was really kind of tame. I mean, on certain spots.
What the hell is tame for you?
The what?
So what is tame for you?
What is tame?
Tame? What is tame for Abu Nas? Now, chat, question me that, riddle me this. What is tame for Abu Nas? Like in the Dark Council Bros, I know some of you guys are in here. What is tame for Abu Nas? That is the question here today. What is tame for Abu Nas?
If y'all know, please say it, because I'm drawing blank. I know I have some calm moments. Not a lot when it comes to YouTube and spitting my feelings, but I mean, like I said, in the final anniversary party, I put out all my clips. Not all my clips. I mean, 6 years, so many streams, so many videos. I couldn't. It'll be like 2 hours, so I just kept it to like 35 minutes.
And Treacher says, "Not tame. You just tried to be merciful, Abu Nas."
There we go. There we go, Trenton. You're absolutely right. I was trying to be merciful.
And then Soul Assassin's like, we'll see. I don't know what's tame for him.
I was channeling the how should we say, the the monks where I'm in a mental
You're trying to
state
zen
of peace.
out.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, the Hulu clip. Oh well, that's my thing, brother. That's my
Mhm.
thing. That's why I put it out there. I didn't realize that the Dark Council was gonna, scream bloody murder and have me have me put to the torch. I just, show a little something. It was a cartoon. These cartoons are harmless, right?
Sure.
The clip is still there in my greatest hits. So just in case you want to just, check it out again.
Check it out.
I
Okay.
put the blooper in there so you kids don't have to be crying for crying for my blood and get my channel demonetized. It's already demonetized.
You're like, I don't have to worry about that crap. Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that being said, like, what is tame for Abu Nas? Well, merciful maybe, but not tame. When since has Abu Nas been tame? So
Only because
but with
I
that
don't
being said,
react to people. I'm just reacting. That's all. Sometimes I'm upset over things that
so
happen on.
you get Sith then. So see, there's no tame because you know how Sith react to their emotions
Yes.
and with their emotions. So you just keep backing up into that corner.
No, why am I even talking? I just need to. You know what? All right, I'm gonna just be quiet for the rest of
No, you're
the
not going to
day.
be quiet.
I
Okay.
know.
So with
I,
that being said, so what really got you in? We know the crux of this, but I want to hear
mhm.
your words. Like, what really got you into this culture war? Culture war.
Actually, it fell in my lap. I
Okay.
didn't. I didn't seek out for it. I mean, after my first video to talk about the Last Jedi, that was supposed to be a one and done. But people, when I showed it to them in the on Twitter, and everybody went bananas for it. So they asked me to do another one. Like I said, it wasn't in the plans to do another one. That was just a one and done. But um, I put out another video and just basically spoke my feelings behind um, Ryan Johnson's having his moment with Collider, and he had Mark Hamill, and it was just, for me, it just went sour when Mark was trying to, at the very least, try to rationalize what his bullshit character was. And then Ryan Johnson kept jumping back and forth over certain things, and then the audience was all clapping like seals and stuff. So I was so disgusted. I said, "Let me make another video behind this shit," which I did, and it was short. It was short and sweet, 30 minutes, and people, like I said, they said, "Abu, you got to keep going,"
A
and that
star was born.
yeah, that's when it was a go.
Mhm.
And the third video was when J.J. Abrams, said that word about toxic males, and I don't know why they upset with the Last Jedi and this that whatever, and we had to get on him. And it's just been a wild roller coaster ever since.
Mhm.
Now, when I got pulled into the drama, remember back in those days, it was EBS, Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers, World Class Bullshitters, Doomcock, Jesse Milestone, and that Star Wars girl, Anna.
Mhm.
Now they were the big five. Now
Mhm.
it wasn't a coin thing where it was said that the Fandom Menace. I forgot who said it, that gave it that term.
Mhm.
But when it was coined, because everybody was making videos and stuff like that, but they was already established. So I was the new kid on the block. But at the very least, I had Twitter to hold me down, and whatever business from the shills or whatever the people that liked the sequel trilogy, I had to go in there and just regulate. And
Mhm.
that's another thing why people, I guess, was gravitating towards me, because I didn't hold my tongue. I said everything I wanted to say, the man, women, or whatever, and then all of a sudden, the coin of I guess other people that wasn't feeling us, they called the no. We said that we was the fandom menace to
Mm-hmm.
basically right the wrongs that was done to our bottom myths. So, but the big five was already in that realm. I just happened to sneak in from the back door, and like I said, I didn't know any of them, but I like that word fandom menace, because obviously you didn't give us what we want, and then you make it seem like it was our fault that we didn't like your piece of shit. So you're gonna insult me like that? Okay, I'm down with the fandom menace. But I was, and like I said, they could correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I was one of the, like the very first, if I'm not the second or the third, but I feel like I was the very first that used that term to a level that whenever you saw me, you saw that word fandom menace, you know, and I put that into my songs. I put that into Twitter. I've even put it on hashtags just for the hell of it,
Yeah.
and tell people and threaten them. Well, not threaten them.
Yeah, see, that's why I say you are never tame. That's
Yeah,
exactly why I say you are never tame. But with this fandom menace, like stance from the beginning, what do you think about it now? Because it's like all of a sudden now it's like it's no longer exists. I think the meaning behind it is now no longer there anymore.
no,
Um,
but it served its
what's
purpose. It
okay.
served its purpose. It got to the point where you knew that if you saw the fandom menace, because everything that all the big channels, including Doomcock as well, we was just smashing the narratives left and right. Even Stephanie Janisek was part of that. I mean, she was my inspiration along with SC Reviews to make the video in and of itself. And I
Yeah.
tell people, I said, if it wasn't for her and SC Reviews, I wouldn't even came on Twitter. She was the first woman that I actually saw that actually hate this piece of shit and just really broke it down. I was
Hmm.
literally stunned. I didn't
Hmm.
think a woman would actually, hate this the way that I did, but that just told me that wow, this is bigger than what I thought it was going to be. And SC Reviews, he's from Australia. Now now when I got to I said something on Twitter, but I was watching his videos and stuff. So he made a compilation of, because of the overweight white guys. He made
Hmm.
a compilation of a lot of people that's on Twitter and on YouTube
Hmm.
that's of color, that's not white. We got all types of people from all over the world, and they do not. And he mentioned Mark with a C. He mentioned others, and then all of a sudden, he actually mentioned my name.
Hmm.
And I was at work at the time. I was on lunch. I'm sitting at my desk, and I'm like, wait a minute. He mentioned my name. I
Hmm.
said, yo, holy shit. He was big time.
Hmm.
So I'm sitting up here like, did I make it? Did I make the cut? I said it probably was from my first video.
Hmm.
Maybe he saw it and just gave me the seal of approval. But I was watching his content for a while, so I said, wow, I don't know what to make of this. You
Yeah.
know. Now, thankfully, I'm not I didn't get a big head or anything, but I was like,
You were already there.
whatever. But I said, should I keep it going? And I guess with everybody on Twitter really pushing me to do this, like, you got to do it, Abu Nas. Your stuff is more funny. You break it down, da 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 da. And I said, all right, I'll just keep doing it. I think the times that I kept getting in trouble on Twitter even fueled me more to make videos whenever I got banned, yeah, 7 times over, I couldn't even make a burner account before somebody sniffed me out and then they deported me.
I remember those. I think for as much as I put out, like with my talking back at all the stupid shit that goes on Twitter,
Mhm.
I'm surprised I'm not banned more than you. I'm surprised. Because honestly, I am like all over the place with that. I see something, I'll say what I need to say, and that friggin' I could barely say something like, "Oh, I hate Jake Skywalker," for example, just something very mild like that, and they're like, "Fuck this bitch, you fucking cunt!" Da da da. They go off on me like that, and I'm like, "What the hell?" Okay.
You know how to bring the people's emotions out. I see it on Twitter with you all the time, and I just sit up here like she gets these guys triggered by just making a comment and then putting context into it.
I know. I'm like, I will say something and I'll back my shit up, and then they
Yeah.
get furious about.
But you're never rude. You're never well. Now you're getting rude. Now you're getting rude at some of them. I was like, oh damn.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm tired of the shit. I'm tired of being decent now.
Oh, okay. So now you with me now. Now you with me. Now you see where I was coming from.
I'm
Now
still
you get
most
it.
of the time decent, doing facts, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
But if you start going to ad hoc and starting to insult me, then I'm not going to give you the courtesy. Why? You started it, so I will
Right.
finish this shit. Okay,
All right.
that's how I see it.
Got me in my feelings. No,
Go,
well, see,
go with it.
you had to be dragged into this, honey. Me, I just look at you. I'm like, you know what? I don't even like your fucking face. I'm just gonna go. I just went ham. You know, men,
Mhm.
women, and women. The women don't get it as much as the men do. But then you got a few people that just goes to the. And there was this girl that she was just straight Ray. I mean, her Twitter page got Kylo and Ray embracing each other and touching each other and all of that. And I said, this is
Oh
why.
God, yeah.
This is why. You know, and she accused her because I told her, I said, listen, you're a cute little girl. I mean, you know, I don't like to fight with women online. I want to make love to them, blah, blah, blah. And she got all offended. Oh, this is not Star Wars no more. You said that. I'm like, honey, I just said you was cute. You're a child. You are a child to me. You know, if I put it on you, you're gonna make new religious beliefs. All right, I'm not gonna do
And
that.
Soul Assassin's taking some responsibility. So he says, I'll take a little responsibility to OG's attacks. Sometimes I get bored and I find a cringe tweet and send it to OG and get some
Oh,
popcorn for the fireworks.
see, Soul Assassin, see what you're doing? You creating the monster. That's what you're doing.
No,
That's what
he
you're doing.
knows how I am. That's like there's no creating the monster.
Yeah.
He just knows who I am. And I do take responsibility for some of my stuff. Like I know some people like maybe Tim and Greg, for example, probably thinking, oh shit, there goes Alora. I'm gonna go ahead and mute this tweet stream here that she posted so I stop seeing it. And
Tim,
and I
you're doing
get
the
it.
right thing. Let the lioness do her thing when she finished burying the bodies.
I'll
Then you
burn the
can
whole
bring
shit
it
down.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll burn it all down. So with this, so we got like why you got started, the context of that. And I know that, we've talked about this before. So, but what really got you, with Luke Skywalker, how they impersonate him for their canon, it's not even recognizable. So how did that play into the fact of how you felt about what they were doing with Luke Skywalker? I know we probably covered this 10 times over, but this is your exit interview, so might as well do it one last time.
Luke Skywalker is, but it's no secret that he is my hero, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and everything good in my life for the little times that it was, my upbringing was rough to say the least.
Mm-hmm.
But Luke Skywalker was my my gateway to a perfect world, to a perfect happiness, to see something that I want to aspire to be, you know? Yeah, before I was growing up and I see all my black heroes I want to emulate. Yeah, Well, as a kid, you know, Luke Skywalker, that was it. Hold the lightsaber. Use the Force, mental powers. And help your friends. You know, these are things as a kid is pretty much universal.
Yeah.
And if it is universal like that, that you can be compassionate, kind, strong, and brave, that is what you should do. It's a good trait to have. You know, didn't
So
make
you
no
as a
never
black
mind
man,
skin color to me.
yeah,
And that's the
yeah.
purity of that.
hmm
To
So you as a
know
black
that.
man do not have to have someone who looks like you, same
Mhm.
skin color as you, to relate to.
Right.
Okay, so you don't fit the norm that Disney is trying to bring in these days, and so what I call so quote
Exactly.
unquote norm, because these people are so narcissistic that they have to see themselves in the character before they can even get involved by skin
Hmm.
color, not by just like thematic, like themes and stuff of like, like little tropes of how the character is overcoming hardship or whatever. That
Right.
could be relatable. So, and that's the thing here. And I think that's one thing that we all talked about time and time again, especially being a native Filipino woman and you being black with native descent and stuff, is the fact that we didn't need to have Luke Skywalker to look like us to relate to him.
That's true. And the more I kept hammering that fact down, it's almost like they put the blinders on it. It was
Yeah.
all about the white man or the racist crowd, the white men that don't like diversity and don't like this, and
hmm
overweight white guys and their mom's basement. That's all the press and all of the entertainment industry was trying to push.
Yeah.
And like I said, I give props to Jeremy, Doomcock, world class bull shitters. Shoot, they wasn't really, getting on Star Wars Girl or Jesse Milestone at that time because obviously they knew they was part of them, but I guess they didn't want to push that narrative down them, knowing that other women was not feeling it either.
hmm
So now for me, and my skin color, and the same goes to Mark, Demogeny, Fatal J, Lord Callus, At that time, I didn't meet drunk, so everybody was doing their thing, but nobody wasn't paying attention to us except those on Twitter, those on YouTube, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, which is it? I've said this in my videos a lot of times. It's like, you don't see that I'm a paying customer too. But
hmm
this is where we're at. So we just, as men of color, I knew that I was going to go even harder than that.
Yeah.
Now I get banned on Twitter a lot, but not on YouTube. So I just kept ramping it up.
Well, they didn't want a man of color or person of color, if you want to go that way, but to speak the truth and, disrupt their narrative.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Like when I speak up, like as of lately, I was going to ask you this question, but I might as well bring it now. Um, as of lately, the thing about women don't belong or not or don't belong in Star Wars or they can't be fans. That whole drama that just came about because of the Star Wars series interview and stuff like that, and how people took it way out of context than what it really
Way
was.
out.
Yeah,
Ooh,
like
that
for
there was I didn't oh I'm sorry baby I didn't mean to remember that clip of the Return of the Jedi when
which
they
one?
the people was in the lines. Seen a lot of women in that
Oh yeah,
scene.
yeah. With you,
Mhm.
you can look at that and see, and even see women interviewed from
Yep.
that period. And so that's one thing that has been like I've been speaking out against from the start, because that's what
Mhm.
you've seen, the direction of like we need more women in Star Wars, we need to bring more women in Star Wars, blah blah blah, and and the agenda. That's not only Kathleen Kennedy. I'll argue that it's also Bob Iger and Disney. Kennedy, yeah, she's head fronting it. She's a head runner for that narrative, but it's also her boss.
Yes.
So I don't give her all the credit to that, because Sure, she probably, maybe she's the one who said, let's go this route, and they said okay. But either way, they're allowing her to run the property as is. So it's not only her, it is Disney. And it's not only Disney that's doing this with all the properties, it's other properties that are following suit with the same bullshit idea.
Mhm.
And people only just focus on Disney, but this is a whole different story. I'm going to reel myself back. um
But it's
it,
still the same in
yeah, it's
terms
still the
of
same throughout
why we do why we do what we do, and
yeah,
why we say the things that we say that's supposed to cut them down, but they
right,
acting like we don't exist
yeah.
because they know they damn wrong,
Yeah, so but what I'm coming up with here is the fact that,
Mm.
I've been speaking out against people saying that women never belong, were never in Star Wars or never were fans, and now it's being repeated again, and there's women that are becoming victims of that, saying it's
Yeah.
true, and I'm speaking out against it. So I get blocked by those women because I am breaking their narrative. Now, what do you think about this? What do you think about this narrative being brought up again about women don't belong in Star Wars, or there was no creatives and women creatives in Star Wars? What is your opinion about that?
As I said before, what I always tell my friends, my supporters, even outside of YouTube. What do I tell you? I tell you, a woman is pretty much the mothers of civilization. You know,
Uh-huh.
we need a woman in our lives in every aspect. They are our first love. They are our first teachers. They are our first protectors. As children, as babes. When we grow up, men or women, you get to a point, especially for us boys, and pay attention. This is very important. You are to grow into a man that is masculine, that is a protector, a defender, and an educator. You know,
Mhm.
when you have your mother hold you in the cradle and to nurture you through the breast and make you grow up, then the cycle continues when you have your woman and you cradle her. It's like I'm here now. Now I'm in control. I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna make sure nothing harms you in every single way. And the cycle continues. That's supreme wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, ladies and gentlemen. It's a lot of this shit is simple.
Yeah.
You
So,
know,
what do you think about them tokenizing us, though, as if Star Wars
tokenizing them,
has
tokenizing y'all women is the wrong thing to do. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you women went to the theaters to see Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, just like the rest of us. You have eyes, you have ears, and you have a heart, and you have a brilliant mind. You like what you saw. You go back to the theaters. So obviously, we are all connected behind this. So why, whenever a woman actually verbalize certain things, like Lorena, like OG, like the Star Wars girl, Jesse Milestone, Stephanie Janisek, who else? Who else is coming through?
sorry.
This one, that one, my Mara J, my nerdy home.
Mm-hmm.
So Stephanie, yeah. So again, we have a lot of ladies that's in this fandom that basically loves what George Lucas put out, and this is not a thing where we wouldn't like the force to be female, but you didn't have to ram it down our throats like we wasn't capable of using critical thinking.
Yeah.
We had our Princess Leia, Mon Mothma, Ada Gallia, Darth Zana. We have women in the EU, Jaina Solo. Oh my goodness, that you can't demogenize that she's like an angel to him. You know,
Yeah. That's his girl. That's his girl.
girl right there, Jaina Solo.
Yeah.
So, Sword of the Jedi. How badass do you have to be named the Sword of the Jedi? You could have put that in the movie, but
And
now,
see, they make George Lucas look sexist and even racist because they're like, oh, there was really no women in Star Wars. We need a female lead. And we're like, first of all, Leia was a female lead.
mm,
And then Padme
came in on the prequels.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a trio. Yes, the
Nobody was,
huh?
but anybody was thinking George Lucas was this, that, or whatever until the Disney sale came in, and then they saw Force Awakens. They like I said, they catered to the new blood. They didn't want 50-year-old Abu Nas and 50-year-old Mark and Damajanai and this, that, whatever. No, they want to get the babies. They want to hook them while they're young, because after a certain time, we are gonna be like in the nursing home, like, you said you want to watch Star Wars? So no, they got to try to get that money rolling. I get it completely. But come on now, and nowadays we taking better care of ourselves now. Okay, so we may be living a little bit more longer, and we'll put in the VHS with Star Wars from 20th Century Fox, and we'll watch it again.
And George was not discriminate because he had female villains too.
That's right. Heroes and villains. But we can't even give our ladies the credit that we're not saying that. Like I said, we love to be represented, but we don't need that being beaten down, in our heads. Like we're not capable of verbalizing how much we love it and how much we love women representation, but keep it the way it was that was working.
Yeah, if it broke, don't fix it. Yeah. Now, with this being said, okay, I know you've read the EU. Who is your favorite female artist if you're able to read, like if you read any novels that were from the female like authors?
Oh, I'm drawing blank.
I'm putting you on the spot. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, see, I knew it was coming.
Hi, Dylan.
The only thing that I could, because my books is not in all in disarray, but from the EU standpoint, I'm just off the top of my head, I'm rolling with Darth Zana.
No, authors, not characters.
Oh, authors.
Yes.
Karen Travis.
Okay.
Just off the cuff. I knew there was somebody else though.
There's plenty of them. There's plenty of authors, and even for the comics and stuff, that were women who helped contribute and created Star Wars. That Lady Chaboy, whatever her last name is, I can care less about who she is. That's supposed to be doing the Rey movie and stuff. Was like, oh yeah, well, I'm going to be the first woman to influence or create within the Star Wars galaxy.
Now these people are out of touch. Like I said, they're not even thinking about the EU that's already been published for decades. I know that because if you said that from out your mouth, then you know that you was not informed. So if somebody like you or anybody else plaster the cover, it's just gonna make them look stupid, And then the people that comes in here, we ain't talking about no EU. We're talking about the real new
the
Star
films
Wars.
Only. Yeah. And it's like, well, first of all, she didn't say film. She said it's Star Wars in a galaxy far, far away. So that right there includes all material that is being used and produced to build upon the lore and everything.
Let me tell you something. These people are deep. They know exactly what the fuck they doing. They know that.
Oh, yes.
I'm just not going to talk about this. I'll talk about that piece. Right. But that other piece is connected to it because you want to have a woman represented. There it goes.
Now you could take that into so many different ways. Like, okay, so she likes to make men feel uncomfortable, make men uncomfortable. Now,
that girl, yeah.
that could be taken in so many different ways. What?
Yeah, she said it in her Pakistani. I was a very good Pakistani girl. I know that you were.
Yeah, and I understand her context, what she was talking about during that time frame. And I'm not arguing a lot about like what she said because what she said is what she said.
But she wasn't talking about Star Wars.
It was about her documentary. Right. Yeah, and I get her.
Yeah, and I have to apologize. So I have to apologize to her because I didn't know what and that's another thing. We just need to try to not be jumping on the gun, especially when something comes out and just
Yeah.
looks like it's inflammable. I was getting much better in that, and I'm so glad that I don't, like I said, don't react like I used to do. Now
Yes.
it makes sense, but you know how people manipulate stuff in the internet. So for anybody that's on the chat or just checking out the replay, just don't jump at it. At the very least, do the research, see where the real context comes from, and then you can make your assessment to either go
Right.
in or just say, nah, that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, so that's why I never focused about what you said about in that interview. Mind you,
Mhm.
okay, so are we cautious of what she said about making men uncomfortable? A little bit, but she wasn't replying about Star Wars in that context.
No, she was
But
talking
it
about
does,
her,
it does
yeah,
bring
her,
a bell is rung in my head because of that, because of the direction that Kennedy, Disney, Iger has taken Star Wars with their politics.
mhm.
So that's why. But I will not touch upon that because it's like there's nothing there right now, and I'm
Right.
going to keep it in my pocket. So if something's brought up, and this movie actually does come into production and does
Well, they
make,
said that
and then
they
she
don't know
has her
when it's gonna.
interviews and it alludes to that, then I will say something.
Well,
But right now, I'm
the
not
script
going to get
itself.
baited by that, huh?
Yeah, but the script itself is going to tell us exactly
Hmm.
who's doing what.
Yeah. Hmm.
She's a well, she's not even a film director. That's another reason why you shouldn't even have her in the first place, because
Hmm.
somebody's going to be directing her while she's whispering in somebody's ear. That's not you being a director. But either way, the Ray movie is doomed to fail on every aspect, and I
I
want it to come out so it can fail
That's me.
again.
I'm like the I'm like the bitch in me. I'm just gonna say this. I want it to come out because I want them to get exactly what they want.
Yeah,
Like
no
so
money.
far everything has
Yep, no money.
Mhm.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
want them to fail so hard that even that. Okay, you know what? Our ego is cashing checks we cannot cash. We got to stop this madness. We got to stop it. Kathleen, we want to fire you, but it's like Lorena said. Where the bodies are, though, and I'm not trying to go to jail like Bill Cosby and, and Jeffrey Epstein, and then I gotta kill
He's
myself.
not leaving.
Yeah,
And so what do
yeah,
you
I'm
think
not
about
doing it.
this? Because like over your time being in this culture war, and everybody saying having this like wash rinse repeat rhetoric about Kennedy, and every single time it's something new, she's fired for a new reason. What do you think about this today? Because how many times does this
Look,
bitch have to be fired before she's gone?
yeah, and I was one of the men on the forefront to have this chick fired because the clues were there. The clues were there, so I was just pumping that thing up like, come on, every other video I make, I make fun of her and I make fun of the whole Disney hierarchy, just sitting up here like, Kathleen, look, we're losing money on Solo. The Last Jedi is just taking a beating. We're not even making money on the VHS or the Blu-ray. We got people throwing the Blu-ray in the garbage. Listen, we just need you to just cool the fuck out, this, that, whatever. And then the 3 years, the 3 year new contract for her, but there was no press release. There was nothing. And Jeremy was very gracious. Shout out to Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers. He was very gracious to allow me to have a music video just to let my thoughts be heard on the 3 year contract. Because, like I said, there was no press release, not in the trades. There was not even on a press release on Lucasfilm. It was just put out there that she had three more. She had a new 3 year contract, but nothing else, and she was not even speaking about it. So I spoke on it. Everybody liked it, and I said, "Look, see between the lines. They put that in there just to let you know to say." Okay, well, we're keeping her, so we're keeping the ladies or all the kids that want Kennedy to keep going. Now they won't have to bark at us like we did something wrong.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we'll just keep her on the side and we don't talk about her like we should. We'll just keep going and hopefully the rabid fans that want all the other stuff. And then when George Lucas came out and said, yeah, well, I trusted them. They didn't want me. You know how these white slavers do. I was like, wow, George Lucas with the bird. They never recovered from that. Never.
Well, and that's the thing with George is like he's passive most of the time. Like he'll have little bits of snippets of like saying things that are really stinging to the company. And then either he'll walk it back, but I don't think when people walk back their statements like Mark did, it's not true or authentic. They're just doing that because they need to for whatever reason. But it's not authentic. They said what they needed to say at the time, and that was authentic. So now George
didn't hold his tongue. And that was the smoke. That was one of the smoking gun. Once Bob Iger's book came out, everything started now going into place. And then the floodgates was open. Now we knew who the real enemy was. Kathleen Kennedy was just a byproduct of whatever she could do for Iger, and she was in control until the money says you're not in control no more, but we can't get rid of you. We're not having these man-hating harpies get on our nerves, so you stay here, we'll do this, and you give me any good ideas that I think I want to roll with, then we'll do it like that. I said that in my videos going forward. But yeah, I still kept Kathleen Kennedy in the forefront because, like I said, you need somebody to have a punching bag. And since she was still there, walking around, smiling in the new movie press release and all of that, yeah, okay, fine.
What do you think?
You still here? You gonna get the business?
Yeah. What do you think about people using her as a excuse? When something's bad, Kennedy got involved, but when something good, she was never involved. So what do you think about this poor excuse about that?
They have to play both sides of the fence. I can't hate on that. If I was a businessman, I don't want nothing. I'm already losing money.
No, I'm talking about fans because we know for a fact that she's in charge at Lucasfilm, that she is involved, like for example, The Mandalorian. She's involved. She was involved with that. She was in set. She took George there herself, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And but I'm talking about fans, like YouTube commentators that are reporting on everything about Kennedy and stuff. So what do you think about them saying, "Oh well, The Mandalorian's bad, so it was Kennedy's fault. She came in and she manipulated, and then when something's good, she was never involved. They fired her. She's gone. They didn't let her on set."
But it goes back to what I was saying. Listen, I'm a businessman. I'm not going to, smite myself, just to try to appease people, knowing that I need to get money into the company. So if Kathleen Kennedy's name is not good for me in the company, I'm not gonna mention her name. If the shit works, well, Jon Favreau and the Cowboy, they did their thing, and yeah, it's pretty good. Go with Grogu, get the merch, Now, if something was bad, and then, oh, jeez, I told Kathleen, don't come up here and bring us that crap spit. That was my fault. I'm sorry, but we'll get it together next time. Yeah, that's how you got to.
No, I'm not talking about in a business standpoint. I'm just talking about like YouTubers saying that because we know that she's involved. That Lucasfilm and Disney Lucasfilm.
Yeah, she's gonna put her ideas into it. I'm just sorry that Jon Favreau. We don't even talk about Dave Filoni. Dave Filoni is on her titties every day, all day. That's her.
I am so glad you said that because I was going to ask you about that because we do have now because all of a sudden now he's the head of creative, chief creative or whatever, and that he is now like there in the inception of the concept of these shows coming out and stuff and has the say, which we knew he had say from the beginning because even before this so-called promotion, Deborah Chow was the one that went to him to get ideas and and get advice from him for the Kenobi show. And look how that fucking turned out.
Yeah, and LG, when did he started, putting on his John Wayne cowboy hat? When did he start doing this shit? He wasn't doing this when he was working for George Lucas.
He was wearing those hats even back then.
Oh, he was? Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, though, he wasn't, like I said, it's almost like the hat just made him change into a completely different person.
Nope, because, maybe the hat's to blame, who knows? But since TCW, we know he's been manipulating the lore. And one of the concept that I agree with in a sense, and it's going to go into like, oh, this like conspiracy shit. Maybe, I don't know if you want to call it that, but I do believe from since his being brought into TCW and was able to have free reigns after George stepped away to do Red Tails, the movie Red Tails, and left him to his own device creating TCW. I think that's where he started manipulating the lore because he wants his stuff to be told. He don't care what came before. And that even is evident with George's movies because when you watch TCW, and you can pinpoint continuity and what's connected to what, you could tell that he contradicted a lot of like Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith.
Well, I would definitely agree with you with that. I mean, the first one that was put out there, that was pretty much before Revenge of the Sith even came out. So George let the animator Jendy Tartakovsky, I believe,
yeah,
let him do that, and it was just completely. It was fast paced, but you could definitely follow the story patterns, and especially when it came to, certain things that was in the cartoon that made its way into Revenge of the Sith. At least we knew how General Grievous, was coughing because Mace Windu crushed that thing in the cartoon. We didn't get that with the Clone Wars with Filoni, but I will say this: I mean, as long as George Lucas was in charge and he's in these meetings and whatever he approved of it, that's what I go for. I mean, like I said, there's many episodes in there that I completely love and I can still watch to this day. But once they started going down that path, obviously after the fact, where they have Yoda fighting Darth Bane, and then Korriban was turned into Morabon. I was like, Morabon, what the fuck? So yeah, I knew then. I was like, okay, now they putting the how should we the Disney spin on this thing, and that's fine because after that it was already a done deal with the sales. They had two more. Yeah, they had two more seasons for the original Clone Wars, even after they bought the farm. So I just looked at it with just a grain of sand. It's like, nope. As long as whenever George Lucas sold it, whatever the season that was, that is my canon. Everything else is after Disney. I don't even pay that shit no mind.
So you mean Rogue One, 2, and Andor? Awesome! We got a breakthrough! Woo!
You know what? I just love it. I just love it. I'll be in my own little world, in my own little head canon. That all right, but this is going to be the Abu Nas canon, and I'll just put it just a little bit in there, and just leave it alone, and I'll just be happy in my own little world because. And people tell me all the time, why do you like Rogue One so much? I said, well, number one, it was the movie before The Last Jedi.
That's not an excuse. So was Force Awakens, and that was trash too.
Well, in the context of looking at Force Awakens, just for context, I did not like seeing Luke not having some dialogue. And of course, we saw Han Solo death come from a mile away. Why are you killing Han Solo? I wasn't a fan of that. Okay.
Why are they going to erase the EU and take out Jan Ors and Kyle Katarn for those two bullshit characters and retell their stories? See, so again, here we go. So why are they killing Han? Okay, so why are they now doing these knockoff characters to these two heroes from Dark Forces?
Yeah.
Same thing right there. If you want to talk about the movies, let's talk about the lore in general. Why?
I don't even have the. You know what? Trenches. Disney canon is not canon. But what sucks? And what sucks? Yes, it sucks to everybody else except me. And the only reason, well, not the only reason. I got lots of reasons. Now, Rogue One, as I said, was just a one and done before everything happened with the episode 4. Now I wasn't
Well,
too
I'm getting critiqued
familiar.
right now too. Look at this.
Oh my gosh, she went to bad cop like at the very beginning. She was no goddamn good cop. Shoot, she was a narc. She was a narc. All right,
How
narc.
am
You
I
know how narcs
am I
do.
narking
They
you
they they
against?
they bend the rules and they beat you down for evidence. And yeah, that's a
And
narc
you're
right
here for the
there.
beating. You're here for the beating. So
I know, and I'm enjoying myself. So go figure. But it was just for me. It was just
they're after you. See,
you sending these people to my house now, right? You
yep,
sending
they're
them
coming
to my
after
house.
your ass. It's a setup.
Oh my god.
That's a good timing. Oh, holy shit.
Yeah. Oh, gee, I'm gonna be upset with you if you sent the movie police to my house to get me arrested. Either with the Cannon police,
It's the
but
cannon police.
yep, the Cannon police, exactly. But I only looked at Rogue One as a very enjoyable film for me, because we didn't see the Last Jedi. So I only watched it once, and like I said, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the Vader, thing at the event and at the end. Abu needs the Abu. He's not just the president; he's the client. Yes, I am a client. I said that. I said that in many of my videos. Hey, I'm the president, but I used to be a client. Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sitting
So
your ass back to it. You need it.
just because I like a standalone movie that I enjoyed it. And I know what you said about, they ripped off Dark Forces, right? This was supposed to be this. And I said,
Don't you
oh,
love my
and I
voice?
didn't even read it. And the thing is, I never, like I said, read it until you said something. And I was like, in my head, oh shit, what do I do? So they ripped it off and ripped it off. There was no goddamn Filoni. Because Filoni, no, John No was the one that wrote the story. So and you just blasted him. You blasted everybody. So I just said, okay. I still do like it, but if they ripped them off, then they did it in a how should we say, they did it in a fashion to give them props and this. No, they didn't give them no props. They just stole their shit and then they made it think they was there. And I was like, but I still like the movie. What do I do? You know what? Absolutely right. You're right. They did the. I can't stand these fuckers. They're taking everything and bastardizing it. And I just keep my mouth shut and just go watch Rogue One in the privacy of my own home and just like the movie just because. Now, the other thing, Andor. And like I said, I know everybody can't stand it. Mark with a C is down there. He already told me how he's like, I'm sorry, Abu. It's trash, bro. I fell asleep on a couple of episodes. A lot of people says that. That's fine. I got so burnt out behind everything that sucks with Disney between Mando, Obi-Wan, most especially. That is the absolute worst of all of their series. Ahsoka was bad, and I love Rosario Dawson, but what they did to Obi-Wan Kenobi, that was an abomination on every front, from filming to writing to everything. And then you have what is it? Wait a minute. You know what? They went through the whole down the line. So by the time, and I watched all of this just to do the context with the Dark Council. And every time I'm watching an episode, I feel like my brain cells is just just going into mush. But now I looked at Andor because I liked Rogue One. Number one, that's the context. I'm watching this and I felt like, wow, they are actually giving me dialogue that doesn't insult my intelligence. Wow. All right, this is a self-contained story. Okay, this is his beginnings, huh? All right. It's a little bit on the slow side. Then they get to the Imperials. And I like the way that they are just the way that they are, militaristic. Even in their speech, it may be boring to maybe many of you, but I seen on Twitter, there's hundreds of thousands of people that do love Andor. They don't give a shit about nothing else, but they love Andor. But I see why. We actually watching something that, like I said,
You rebel scum.
yes, of course, I am a rebel scum. But at the same time, as an audience, as I'm watching this in the comfort in my own home, I am digging how the Imperials deal with each other. I'm digging how the rebels is up here, trying to find their way to do what they do, and dialogue between Stella Skarsgård and Forrest Whitaker. I rewinded their scene like 3 to 4 times because they were so engaged in each other. Like they make that, like I said, I know acting is pretending, but they made this shit look like, yo, this thing actually was really going down.
Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, special announcement. This is the results when Disney ruins Star Wars and it's buried more than 6 feet under, and an inkling of a toe sticking out is taken as good content.
Ding, 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 ding. Okay, I'll accept that answer.
Do you know that people are using Andor to tear down George Lucas's movies, especially the prequel trilogy, saying that, oh, well, Andor was far superior in its scripts and all this other stuff, just to destroy the man himself who created Star Wars.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate because you're not even looking at it from the context of who George Lucas is, as opposed to the writers. A writer that actually done House of Cards on Netflix. And I was, once I read who the writers were, oh, it made sense. But I can't compare somebody that did House of Cards or other very, heavy political series, which House of Cards was absolutely fire. As a matter of fact, House of Cards was the one that put Netflix on the map. But I didn't know that the creator and writer of House of Cards was the writer of Andor. Now I know why it drew me to it. But he did it in the context of the galaxy far, far away.
Okay, so Soul
What?
Assassin has this to say: don't go too far down that dark pathway, Abu. Once they hit that old republic, I'm gonna need you in the front lines. Now that's the thing, because there's so much things I want to ask you tonight, and we're just rambling, just talking and stuff right now.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So once they decide to hit down that old republic road for Disney, Lucasfilm, Disney, Star Wars, are we gonna see you come back?
No.
Okay,
but
and
I will. But I will be watching. I mean, obviously my Dark Council family is going to pull me back in some way. I mean, obviously I may have to make an appearance for House of the Dragon because Lorena's gonna snatch my soul if I don't at least hit one of her streams. But as far as the Old Republic is concerned, if it comes to it, I may pop in, but I'm gonna let you guys really do more of the heavy lifting because y'all are in it every single day. Unfortunately for me, this is pretty much my last roundup. I did the same thing on my channel, Dark Council. So this is pretty much poetic that my very final live stream, will be with this lovely woman, that I inspired her to go into the channel, and now she's a damn monster, and she put me to shame. And it's like, okay, now you can go.
I'll give you to the ringer, getting every last bit out of you before I excuse you and let you go.
Yeah, and that's sad, man, because you put me on detention already. But I will say this: the Old Republic is going to be a trigger for me. Not obviously for those that play video games or MMORPGs, you know Star Wars: The Old Republic has been here for over 10 years. And this was a MMO that was brought into creation as an open world thing from Knights of the Old Republic. Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. And you know how much of a legendary game that was on Xbox and probably because I played it on Xbox. So I don't know about PlayStation. They probably had it too. But when that came out, that when Revan was brought into existence, it was a game changer. You know, the lore was all intact. You had to build your crystals and the lightsaber. You're getting the lore, all the lore that is canon on Lucasfilm before the Disney sale. So they continued that whole thing, and George Lucas himself was consulted on every aspect of how they was putting together Star Wars: The Old Republic, SWOTOR, and he approved of it. They ran it up the ladder. So when you know that the maker approved of a massive MMORPG where you could travel to Tatooine, you could travel to Ilum, you could travel to Mos Eisley, going to Nar Shaddaa, all the stuff that's in the Old Republic stories and all the comics and stuff like that, you know, Korriban, all of it. It's there. It's there for you to live out your Star Wars fantasy. You could be a bounty hunter. You could be a smuggler. You could be a Sith Inquisitor. You could be a Jedi sage who is a healer. You know, they give you the knowledge. You got the holocrons, all of it, bro, and sis, all of it. I highly recommend that if you're into MMORPGs, you know, like World of Warcraft and Destiny and this, that, whatever, Final Fantasy, you know, Lord Commander's in there too. Me too as well. But when you go into that, you got John Williams music. You know, I mean, listen, on the side note, I got a banging pad on Coruscant. I paid maybe like 500,000 dactaries. You know, I got a banging nice roof. I got like a spa. I got like a hot tub on the landing pad, and I got all the droids that goes downstairs. I furnished that baby up, and then I did it for my Sith character. Sith character is over in Droman Cars. I wanted to go to Korriban, but they didn't have anything there. So I went to Droman Cars, where the Imperials in, and you know they right next to the temple, the Sith temple, and they got their robes on and everything. Yeah, you can really lose yourself in the galaxy far, far away. If you can't deal with what Disney is putting out, hey, you can create your own stories. You can create your own, you know, timeline on how you either saved the galaxy or you subjugated it. It's perfect. That's why whenever the maker has his hand on, it's gold. And after 10 years, people are still playing it, including myself.
And see how passionate Abu is? That's why I asked this question, because if by chance they come back and they destroy like Revan or any of them,
you know they're not gonna hand. You're not gonna hand that though. They're not gonna.
Well, they already started to. Okay, so my thing.
Is, okay.
Yeah, they already brought Revan in and it was in like he was mentioned in the Rise of Palpatine. And so his name is already here. So there's that possibility that his lore and stuff is going to be changed, just like Thrawn was and stuff like that. Okay. And so that's why I'm asking you this is like, okay, so by chance, if they bring in these old Republic characters into the High Republic and stuff like that, will that because how big you talk passionately about the Old Republic game and creating your own Star Wars lore and stuff and be able to experience it through the game. That's what George loved about the games. That's why he created LucasArts, is to give the fans a chance to do their own Star Wars, make their own stories and stuff,
Yes.
And play it out and everything. I could see you coming in strong to say something. I honestly can, because it's almost like a rehash of what they did to Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, that will really burn. That would burn something in my soul. I'm hoping that it won't happen, because then they would have to literally change the entire fabric of all the 10 years. They can't go back and just rearrange, starting points and stuff like that. It has to go the way it has to go. But thankfully, it's steep in actual Jedi lore that's been there since the comics, the movies, everything, the novels, everything. So it's all incorporated in that game. Now, could they put little stuff like Kylo's lightsaber as a how should we say, as a mystery
An
gift
Easter
or
egg.
whatever? Yeah. If you go on a long quest and then at the end you see Kylo's mask or whatever, they could put that in there just to appease the people that like that piece of shit. But on a whole, they can't just, because they would literally have to tear it all down and then start over. And they're not gonna do
That's what they're doing. And like I've talked about this on Calf Chat. I've done this. We talked about it on the spacing. It's like they recently, if you didn't watch this last spacing, and I didn't share out the article, but they changed. They turned Lando into this thief, into this criminal. Lando Calrissian, between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. In a comic, Leia allowed him to be arrested because all of a sudden he gave off like some top secret like droid that has all their secret codes to decode, and basically he committed treason against the rebellion. So after after Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. Within that one single year between those movies, she had him arrested because he committed treason because he needed to save Lobach, because there's some damaged program within him and he needed to save him.
God.
So they're like what my point is that it doesn't have to be seen for them to reboot George's stuff. They're doing it through the comics, they're doing it through the books, they're doing it through some of the games. And they're also doing it to the EU. The EU, we knew they were going to do that too ever since they said that. They're tossing it and stuff, which is what turned off a lot of fans. But now, they're using that to have people look and view at George's movies in a different light. And that's another way of rebooting and remaking without having to remake.
But they're going to do that anyway when the maker passes away, God forbid.
Oh, no, we already do that too. But they're doing it now.
I've been saying that for years. They're just waiting. That's all. But that's okay, because that's why your collection of books, Tim's collection of books, Mark with a C, especially Lord Callis books, y'all got basically the same thing hundreds and thousands of other people have. So they're not going to be able to escape this scot-free. They're concentrating on the young people now, the 15s and the 11 to 15-year-olds. That's alive now, watching their stuff. That's all that they know. So we are pretty much the grandfathers, the great grandfathers. And now we have to show them, no, this is not what that is. This is what they got this from. So we teach our babies, our grandbabies, because I know I'm doing it. My grandson is 12. He loves Star Wars because my oldest daughter took him to see it. And I took her to see the Fandom Menace. My youngest, me and her sat down. We watched Attack of the Clones. Now, she was all over the place until she started seeing that movie. And she sat right still. We eating popcorn, and I just tell her little bits and things and stuff, but she was just on the screen. So, yes, you can keep it in the family. And if anything that I say that I really hope that you can push your children on all George Lucas content before the Disney sale,
Mhm.
and just have it go down the line. Teach
Mhm.
my grandson that you love Star Wars. Okay, when you have your family, here is the thing. Teach them to roll with that, and we can
Unless
do
it's
that.
like Rogue One or Andor.
I'm not going to. Well, you know what? I'm lying. No, I'm gonna say Rogue One and Andor. I love Rogue One, but that's me. If you like it, you like it, and then we could, watch it together and everything. Yeah, but other than that, nah.
Okay, so with
That's a
this
low
next,
blow, OG. That's a real low blow.
I had
I'm
to. You
feeling
know me. You set yourself up. You know how I am. I know your bros in Dark Council know how I am because I done that to them too.
yeah,
So you set yourself up for that. So stay on target.
yeah.
Yep, he
I like
knows.
it. I feel
He
like
knows.
Porkins now. No, I can get it. I got everything. Ah! Yeah, I'm
With that,
Porkins
going
right
back
now.
to the movies now. So maybe I'm changing the subject, so you should feel better now because you're now out
Really?
of
You
sight.
doing that now? You did that? Oh my goodness, man!
Hey, you set yourself up. You put yourself as a target. I aimed and shot at it. Okay.
That's why she's called this.
But okay, so the other question here before I get into some serious questions is what did you really like about the prequel trilogy and what influenced you? Because we know like with the OT that was more of like when you're a child growing up and what Luke Skywalker meant to you and stuff. So once the PT came out, how did you feel about them? How did it influence you? All of that.
I loved it from the first.
Mm-hmm.
Fandom Menace, yeah, I remember it like it was yesterday. The teaser trailer came out, and just hearing John Williams music and all the special effects and the pod race, it just, like I said, it just ignited, a hunger that was kind of dormant after Return of the Jedi. Because remember, to see those three movies, we only had VHS, you know, and
Go
that
back
was
to
it.
days. Yeah.
Yeah, VHS and whatever movies that they put it in, like on HBO or whatever. But you had to have big money to have those types of things back in those days. So yeah, it was just that. So seeing something new Star Wars, oh yeah, yeah, we flocked to it. Shoot, as much as everybody gave the Jar Jar thing some shit and whatever, but it was a game changer to a point where I want to get so much information that you had to go on the Star Wars message boards, and even then, that's a whole community in and of itself. And just have fans geeking off on, the pod race, Darth Maul, Darth Sidious, Darth this, that, everything, everything. And
Mm-hmm.
now it just, like I said, it was just like 1977 all over again, 1980 all over again, 83 all over again, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So yes, it was a mind blower, and like I said, I'll never forget that teaser trailer. We played that, me and my friends played that thing back and forth, like it was no tomorrow. But we appreciate, I know I appreciate it. I know certain people was kind of let down with some of the dialogue or whatever, but like I said, we was in our, yeah, what was it, 1999? Yeah, I was about 30 years old. So we in our 30s now, we're trenched in our job, we're taking care of our kids. So yes, it was, something that I could bring my child in, which I did, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Then the cycle continues. But there's no, I don't think that the love for Star Wars was that high when, yeah, the Phantom Menace came out, because like I said, we didn't think we was gonna get new Star Wars
Well,
movies.
what kept Star Wars alive between the movies, like
Book,
both trilogies, was the books, the
the
games, all
book,
of that. And that was testament to the fandom because when you look at the income history of the EU in between movies and stuff, they made more than the movies together. because
Mm-hmm.
fans were craving the
Yeah.
history, craving the adventures of these heroes and wanting to know what next. And once George is like, okay, authors, now I'm getting ready to do the PT, let's work together. So once he opened up the PT for the authors, that's when it took off again, because
Yep.
he not only said, okay, now that I'm, because he told them, if people don't know, he told the authors, don't write in that era because I want to be the first. If EU wasn't canon, then that wouldn't have mattered.
Right.
So once he started getting into the PT and started releasing the movies and stuff, he also worked with those authors, not even for the novels, but for the
That's the
novels.
key.
It's
That's the key. He worked with them. They
Mhm.
sat down in
Yep.
meetings, letting him
Down
let
or
them know.
collaborated through talking, through email, through notes or whatever. And he also had, of course, his employees that stepped up for him when he was busy. It
Hmm.
they were basically the representative of him to help create these novels to make sure everything went along coherently.
Case in point, the very first novel of episode one, written by Terry Brooks. I had the pleasure of meeting Terry Brooks
Mm-hmm.
at the World Trade Center. Go figure, because there was a book
Okay.
signing there. That
Mm-hmm.
obviously was 1999. Trade Center went down in 2001. Now, at that time, I went in there. I bought, I bought the novel, and at the time I was married, and I told my wife, I was like, look, I'm gonna get there because she loves Star Wars too. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go and get the novel, and because I didn't want to get two of them, I said, because we live in that same house, so yeah, we could, put it together. But when I told her that the author of the novel was there, and she got all giddy and stuff. Well, why didn't you bring me that? And I was like, look, I didn't know the person was going to be there. So I sat there, and because she said that, what is she bought the book, but she lost it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, well, let me just see if I can get an autographed copy, which he graciously did. But we spoke about, I think, for 15 minutes about what he put in, that George Lucas had a lot input in that novel. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he said that the name Darth Bane, when he wrote that, because at that time he didn't have like the villain or whatever it is that he was trying to put in. He walked this down to George, Darth Bane, the one that created the rule of two, and George looked at it and said yes, he liked it.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's law.
Yeah.
Now it's canon.
Mm-hmm. And people don't
So
realize that
yeah, he
collaboration
gave he gave
between
him,
authors
yeah.
basically help build upon lore, and that not all these huge ideas was George, but it was in collaboration with the authors and stuff
Mhm.
to make everything coherent to each other. Yeah.
Right, but I love the way that he described his meetings with George Lucas. He was very gracious. He really liked how the flow of he maybe nitpicked up, wanted to make sure that it, like I said, it still, adheres to the law in terms of how Obi-Wan, speak of the Force,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
he didn't want nothing to be going against any of the movies,
Right.
but
Because they're
but
the foundations, rightfully
yeah,
so.
and they had, I think, it's been so long. He had a couple of more sit downs with George, but basically, he allowed him to be creative, to stay within the function of how he wanted to see Star Wars and how he wanted to see, you know, the more detailed parts of the Phantom Menace, and it was gold. And I sat there and I was just like, I was in awe of him, very kind, nice man, not, mild mannered voice and everything. So yeah, he very gracious, signed my book. I still got the book to this very day. You
Nice. And
know.
that's a very great conversation you had, because, we have a lot of anti-EU people will even tear down Terry Brooks for that same conversation, saying, oh, no, it's all George and Terry's lying. Like, they like to say that these authors
Mm-hmm.
met and work with George are lying.
It's a goddamn shame that people have views like that. Was like I said, if Disney didn't even buy the property, we wouldn't even have people even thinking like that.
No, because everything would be all what would we have gotten an ST? Probably not. And I've proven that, George is like, no, I wanted to do the wheels. And this was in a 2019 interview with James Cameron,
Mm-hmm.
saying that there was really never going to be an ST ever.
Mm-hmm.
He's always said that. And then so my thing is like I've mentioned this before, is like what he written for ST and bringing these big three back for an ST was because, Iger, like he said in his autobiography, is that he was already planting seeds in George's ears to sell the property. And so George is like, okay, if I sell the property, this is what I can sell them. And these
Mm-hmm.
treatments and stuff like that. So it was already being set up. And would we have gotten an SD? Probably not from George. I think he would have just told what he wanted to tell, and that's it. Like with the wills and stuff, if he chose to do anything more.
I wish he would have done it.
I really think that he was like done telling Star Wars stories and stuff like that, and that's another reason why he was sold, is he was done telling and he wanted to retire and be with his family because he was married and beautiful
Mm-hmm.
wife and they have a
But
child.
I felt like, because I know that well, like I said, Iger's book, it was a manifesto on how to fuck people over and get their money.
Right.
He sold George a vision of having his work being continued
Mm-hmm.
unabated.
Right.
He told Kathleen Kennedy, look at the video. That's proof number 2. He told Kathleen, I got the books, I got the comics, I got this. Use that.
Proof, yeah.
He told her to use that. That's
Mm-hmm.
gold. That's money. Everything was set. And
Right.
she did the opposite.
Yeah. Go ahead.
My thing is that I know George regrets.
Oh yeah.
At this point, you could have at the very least not have fans going against each other, generational fans. Now it's generational.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now we at each other's throats over something that was already set in play. Because 9 times out of 10, if they would have followed the books, they would have been talking about Jaina Solo, Sword of the Jedi, the Bounty Hunter, and then Boba Fett's, family and stuff like that. They would have been talking about that instead of Rey and Poe and right. So
yeah.
we dropped. Well, George dropped the ball, but I know he regrets it. And like I said, I'm not holding him any accountable. He felt like it was in his heart that maybe I need to step down and let somebody young and hungry to keep this thing alive. Right. And we gave it to the wrong people.
I'm going to get the super chat here. So CJH, basically, again, thank you so much. Canadian $10. This may be controversial, but what do you think of the fan theory that the prequels were sort of a biblical allegory, Anakin being born of the Force, etc., his rise and fall, Palpatine, etc.? I'll go. Actually, you go first, Abu Nas, if you want to.
It's his story. It's the story. I mean, like I said, as a creative person, if somebody likes my books and they can't grasp at, a certain part of it, of the metaphysical, and I'm doing a high fantasy novel, I'm going on the Tolkien route and this, that, whatever. I created the whole world, and not created the whole world. It's like God created the earth, God created the angels, God created man. There's 2 worlds behind it. Lots of things happen, magic, this one, that one, this one. But I put it in an area in which now you can follow the histories of man. You can follow the histories of the immortals. You can follow the histories of demons and this and that. You can follow all these histories until you get to a certain point. And if I'm still alive, I can give you the answer. Now, as far as the biblical allegory, I didn't get it at first, but George wanted to put this in there, and now he created a prophecy that lends credence to it. And then it still spilled over on Darth Plagueis that there was, a prophecy that somebody will come in here and bring balance to the Force. Whether it was for the light or the dark, nobody knew. But for the dark siders, it was always something that they had to keep their ear to the ground with. And Darth Plagueis did that. No, Darth Tenebrous made certain that was something that he was going to put together because he, as a Biff, orchestrated Darth Plagueis coming into being mathematically. That's some deep shit. How can you plan out somebody's entire life from conception all the way up to? So it's in the same vein. I love it. I know people got into the space Jesus African, but I love it because I love the story. I love Star Wars. I love the Jedi. That one. I just stay in my lane. That's all. Let's not overdo this. Just stay in the lane and just.
And I'm going to add to that.
Yeah, and enjoy it.
I'm going to add to that. So George used a lot of different themes. He made it so that anybody of any spirituality, any religion could relate. So it wasn't like he just said, I'm going to make this like a Jesus story. It's something that people can relate to in a sense and somehow related to within their own spiritual, their own view of the world and of your culture or whatever. And that's the beauty of that. He made it such a not a cut and dry, but he made it so easy to be relatable. That's why it's generational. That's why Disney Star Wars could never be generational, because he made it to where everybody can relate. Like the OT, all of our kids so far were brought in through the OT and the PT. Yes. And they didn't have problems going back and watching the OT thinking, oh, this is not from my generation, I don't understand it, because he made it timeless. And that's the
thing. Packaged it as one massive saga.
Yes. Yes.
Perfect.
Yeah. So now because I like to keep my stuff about 2 hours. So now I'm going to get into some tougher questions, and maybe, I don't know. We'll see how you respond to that. I feel like shaking your head like, oh no, here we go.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So with this, we know that, you are basically one of the main voices that came in through, upholding the standards of Star Wars and Lucasfilm under George, and creating that awareness and what's going on and what has been going on with that. And then through that, you have created some bonds with individuals that now are family.
Yes.
And I'm going with the Dark Council. And so I'm going to ask you, and so I know we have some brothers in here right now, so, and it's probably put them on the tough spot, but it's not bad. Like I said, it might be hard, but it's not bad. And that does not sound right. But anyways.
Gotta strip the tea on that one.
So start with, let's see who I'm going to start with. Let's start with Lord Callus. So tell me what inspires you about Lord Callus? Like, how did you guys end up coming into each other's circle? What inspires you or influences you? And maybe something you want to say.
Him. Lord Callus came in with us when we got started with the Dark Council, which was called some black guys in a drunk. That was the actual title. Yes, ladies.
Right, I remember that.
Black guys in a drunk, and it was good. We rolled with it, and this was our humble beginnings. Lord Callus came in, and right away, like I said, it was a smooth brother. He's cool, low key, but friendly. But I didn't get to how much his lore, his knowledge of Star Wars was the prevalent thing. And once we did a couple of shows, and now we started, because we was speaking on general stuff, behind the Star Wars madness that's going on with Galaxy's Edge and this, that, whatever. We was pretty much freestyling. I think by the time we get to 2019, and now we're setting, up, things in terms of our setups. Now, when we talk about the Lord and Lord Callis is like right on it. I will say this: his creativity in terms of Star Wars presentation is absolutely top notch. And of course, Lord Callis has that silky voice, man, that makes you just want to just keep still. It's like I got to turn this up. This thing is great, you know. And the way he describes the lore, and especially it's all lore from George Lucas and stuff. So, and he has a great affinity on how to teach aspects of the force and stuff through visuals that he has along with his shorts, and he do that to great effect on Instagram. So I would highly recommend you to see Lord Callis's stuff. That, like I said, it gives you more lore, it gives you more love in depth of the story, and of course he respects and loves George Lucas's work. So that's three the hard way for me.
Okay.
So, and we get along very well. I know I like I said, I go through the things, with Disney and this, that, whatever. But Lord Callis always tries to stay in his lane where it's like, yeah, I can hate what they're doing, but he even said it himself. He's not, going against Disney unless it's absolutely just law breaking, which we do know. But I think he situates himself to say, I love Star Wars. My family loves it, and I want to continue showing that love. However weird Disney do things, I still want to show something that we could love about it in a
Okay.
general sense. And that's
If you
that.
have, go ahead, go. Sorry.
Yeah, and that to me, that was more than enough because I love his content, and I know others would love it too.
If you have one like piece of advice to say to him, what would you say?
Um, one advice. Um, the advice I would give to my brother Lord Callis, if they try to do anything to change every aspect of how the Sith began, shut them down. That's my advice. Shut them down, no matter what. It come from Disney, Warner Brothers, Netflix, or even Amazon Prime. You know how much they fuck up shit. So no, shut it down and shut it down quick. That would be my only advice.
Okay. All right. So on to, let's see, let's go to Fatal J. So again, like share with like how you guys met, how he came to be in your life, like anything you want to share to him or to me about him. And then at the end, what advice would you give him for his
Fatal
content?
J was a part of some Black Guys in the Drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Was there at the very beginning. Yes, he was the youngest member of the group. I haven't heard, have never heard of him until he came into the group. So, and right away, his energy is infectious. It's infectious. It's almost like he just has this. He has this very playful nature that that makes you feel like, damn, I can't help but to smile just being around this guy. You know what I'm saying? He's like a person. He's the person that that if shit get tense, he's able to break that ice
Mm-hmm.
without no problem. You know, he has his own opinions. He's a God fearing man. And he does not like phony ass people. And I already knew I was going to be great friends with him. Because he is a rider, but at the same time, he will, break his back to help his fellow man that he loves, respect, and admire. You know, and I'm the same way too. I'm totally in awe of his work in terms of his comics, and his work ethic is just crazy. And then old man Abu Nas, I gotta come up here like, yo, Fredo, I can't do no them thumbnails. What is that shit? Put me. And he did that. Don't worry, Abu, I got you, brother. Blah, 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 blah. And he always comes to my rescue, man. He really does. And I know that the sky's the limit with him because he's in his 30s. He's pretty much around my daughter's age. So, God damn.
He's like, oh shit.
Yeah. So the sky is the limit, and he has a lot to offer in terms of his creativity and knowledge of common sense. The only advice I can give to Fatal is that be a little bit more ruthless with those that deep down, is not in your corner. Even though they may try to play the role, to shut that shit down and just let them just be in the wind, and keep your circle tight. That's about it.
Okay.
Anything else, you got it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I know. So anybody from Dark Council watching this, it's kind of like, I know you guys celebrated Abu and stuff, but I wanted to really get into like how he views you as brothers and share that with us and advice and stuff like that. A little bit emotional. Like I said, it might be hard.
I am getting a little emotional. Like, why you keep doing this to me, honey? Why?
Because this is just who I am, and so you're in the hot seat. You're in the hot seat. You know, and so let's go on.
Signed up for this. That's what you're trying to say. I'm signed up for this. Okay.
Yeah, you signed up for this. You said yes, and I said okay. Let's do this. All right. So let's go to.
Listen to Abu Nas. When a pretty hot woman tells you to do something and do something for her, try your very best to say no. But if you can't, then brother, I understand.
All right. So now going into Damajanai. So again, the same thing. So like share about how you met or how he came into your life, and and just a little story of that and any advice you want to give him.
Lord Commander Damajanai came in along with Fatal and Lord Callus, part of Black Guys in a Drunk. We're all founding members. Damajanai is he's such an original. He really is. He has, and especially when it comes to Star Wars, he's like you in that respect, OG. He knows this lore to be the lore, and he don't give a shit about nothing else that tries to go against it.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to heroes and characters that he could relate to. I know he said Peter Parker was his guy. He's like the Luke Skywalker of what he's on that with Peter Parker Spider-Man. But his creativity in terms of music and arts, wow. And like I said, and I've seen him had a little clip that I've seen him perform, and I was like, wow, man, we got all types of talented individuals in our group, man. I felt like I lucked up. And but he always gives he always brings the how should we say, you know how you have a saying, and it's one of those catchy sayings that he always gets a saying throughout, well, not throughout, but when we're trying to pretty much close, he always brings something poignant that you could think about. Then and then he'll just go into his little thing. And if you can't be good, no, if you can't be No, you can't be bad. You can be good at it. I'm messing it up, but
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yes.
yeah, he says that all the time, and he makes it just so like this was something that you're gonna get from him, but it just makes you feel good about
Mm-hmm.
yourself. You know what I'm saying? Be original. Don't follow, anybody else's. Be your own original person. Make your own stuff. And like I said, and just bask in the glory that, God gave you that gift to have and celebrate it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
any advice I would give to the Lord Commander, uh, the only thing I would probably is that not everybody is a friend, you know, uh, just because his creativity in terms of the arts, I could see some culture vultures trying to cozy up to him and whatnot, but he's got a brilliant mind, so he'll probably sniff that out. But
Mm-hmm.
if I give any advice for Lord Commander, it would be, yeah, just the same thing with Jay. Just keep the circle small and and promote the things that that is going to have your help, make your heart feel good. And I
Mm-hmm.
know all about Star Wars, the comics, and keeping things where they should be, you know, instead of bastardizing them. So that would be the only one I would give them.
All right. Thank you. So I think I will, thumbnail these down in the description below, like so people can fast forward it if they want to listen, but put you on the spot even more. So
We
let's
make
move
a career out of
on.
this.
So let's go to Mark with a C. So again, same question, same format.
I I've seen a few of Mark's videos back in the day, and let's just say he comes off as an authoritative figure, and it shows. I've met my brother in real life. That man is tall. I was like, oh gosh, okay, he's gonna be my bodyguard. But he came into the Dark Council when we had to yeah, we had to who left? Yeah, we had the Deep Six.
I know who
Somebody.
you're talking about. Yes, I know. I remember that. I know
Yeah.
who you're talking about. We won't
Okay.
mention names.
Yeah. So getting because Drunk and everybody else was saying, I don't know if we can get Mark into the Dark Council.
Mm-hmm.
Can, Abu, can you talk to him? And I never, like I said, I haven't really, had a talk with him. I've seen his videos, but I never, met him. So by the time I reached out to him and I got the digits, we spoke, and we instantly clicked right off the bat. And I told him that we need we need somebody to to take the place of a bum ass bastard, but we want somebody that we could work with. And I
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said, with your knowledge of Star Wars and you're an OG in this game, I said it would be an honor to just at the very least bring you along with it. We have a great group of guys, and he was very amenable to it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, we got lucky. But having said that, the years that we worked, together in and out of YouTube and Twitter, we had nice conversations on the phone, and we just got close like that. And shoot, he's like I said, he's well educated, he's well rounded. Even though we may differ on certain things, but it's all just little parts. But a lot
Mm-hmm.
of it is that I admire this man. You know, like his knowledge in terms of politics and this and that, but the love that he has for our people. See, I'm big on that. you know. So I love having a kindred spirit that I could speak, the things that he knows that I'm into. And like I said, he'll give the shirt off of your back, if you a family to him. And I've seen that firsthand towards me, so I can bear witness to it. Any advice I could give to Mark? Not really much. Just just at the very least, continue to inspire others that did not get a chance to see how, even though you ready to shut down the bastards, but you do know that you can even more inspire those just by the way that you talk, and just how your humanity just flows right from his chest. So any advice I give to you, Mark, please continue doing what you're doing. You made a believer out of me. I know when we was in New York, man, we look up to you. I know I call myself the head of security, but you, sir, you are the teacher, and I'm always learning stuff from you, and I'm continually learning stuff from you. It's almost like your son came in, said hi. I know he's sitting up here like, yeah, I already know his son is going to be a powerhouse because he got you as your dad. You know, God bless, man, because when you came into the Dark Council, we didn't miss a beat. Not
Okay. Nice. And for the last one here, so the white guy, a part of the Dark Council, drunk, 3POJ. So please, again, like I said, same format here. Go ahead and share.
um Drunk 3PO is definitely unique. He came into my life, and I know it's almost like we're a married couple. He came into my life. Um,
It was a bit of bromance.
yeah, he came into my life in a way in which I didn't expect. He sought me out um, because he heard one of my songs, and like I said, he was just coming into on Twitter and stuff, and even on his channel. I think he just created his channel, more or less, his main channel, and he came to me because I guess he had seen, yeah, he heard my music, but he was curious that he approached me to would I come to his channel to talk about Darth Plagueis, because I had made mention of him so many times, and it was a book, a novel. And like I said, he said he was the up and coming new person on YouTube and stuff. And he actually felt like I was going to deny him because he thought that I was too big, and I'm sitting up there like, no, I really appreciate the manner that he contacted me. So I was like, no, what, nobody's channel is that small where I can't just come in and, you know what I'm saying? That's what would you like to do? I would love to do it because I love Dark Plagueis. So yes, I will come to your channel, and it was a humble thing. He said, he even told me that he did one video, and then his very first live stream was with me on his channel, and we really just shot, like, we really dug deep into Darth Plagueis' lore. I know I did. I'm a Darth Plagueis fanboy, but on that night we really connected. And I kept seeing him doing little videos that he was doing on his channel. Just like I said, it was his beginnings as well. But for him to reach out to me, he could have reached out to anybody else.
Right.
I don't know how he found my name, but he found it, and he reached out to me. So I was humble, and and very appreciative that you would think for me to come on your new channel. But afterwards, I invited him back on my channel, and we just shot the breeze between me, him, Rookie Critic, and Sip Kryptonian. Rookie Critic, shout out to you, bro. You're one of my oldest friends on here, and I love you. And you're as talented as everybody else. Sip Kryptonian, he left Twitter and YouTube, but he's still here in my heart. Well, it was just us four, and we got on along so good that we just, like I said, we kept each other kept in touch with each other.
Breathe,
Right. All right. Fast forward, he comes to me about a new a new um live stream show that he came up with, and he wanted to have you know black guys to kind of like I said, counter the narrative that everybody hates things because they're all overweight white guys and this, that, whatever. And he figured that our voices need to be heard because nobody's not paying attention to the black and Native Americans and the Chinese, and you know what I'm saying? Everybody else, they're just concentrating on white people being the bane of their existence, and they don't like. And he saw my video. He knew that I didn't like The Last Jedi, so he said he wants to put a group together. But he came to me first to see if I would be amenable. I, at first, I didn't want to get into anything because I was now pretty known in the community. I didn't want to, like I said, overshadow him or anybody else. I just kind of figured, all right, well, maybe, maybe I may not be the, but I can try to help point you in the right direction. But he was adamant that he wanted me to be there to set this up. I asked him, "Do you have any other people?" And he said, "Yeah, he had a few people." He mentioned Jay and Lord Callis, and he was still searching. He didn't. I don't think he did. He mention Demontre? I can't remember. But by the time we did our first show, everybody was there. Unfortunately, we had that little clown, but
yeah.
Either way, it was the journey, But from there, me and Drunk got closer and closer, especially on the phones where, that man helped me out during the time where I was just on my last leg. And I still didn't even know him enough to even ask, which I was just speaking in my head, and he just came to help me. And that alone just solidified how much I love and respect that man. And everything from there came to this very day. We speak to each other a lot on the phone, lots of texts, but at the same time, we still give each other space. But we've been doing this, he told me, he said he wasn't going to do it, unless I was involved. So he really put me on the spot. So I said, okay, let's do it. Some black guys in the Drunk, let's do it. And it was a success, a big success. So what can I say? Drunk is up now. He's, like I said, he's on another stratosphere now. I gotta try to bum. Can I spend a change, Governor? Can I watch your channel, mate? I got to do that.
I think I'm gonna clip that. Thank you so much for that.
The only advice I could give the Drunk is just do not change exactly who you were or who you are now that I've met in 2018, because I was still doing the videos. Yep, 2018, and then in 2019 we connected, and that was it. Do not ever change, but you kept yourself grounded. The only advice I would give to you is that shut the people down that is trying to, how should we say, trying to make you into something that you're not, you
Mm.
know. And you know exactly who you are, drunk, because I've seen it every single day. You know, my only advice is to be you and only you. And the world is, like I said, the world actually sees all these YouTubers that's out here. You can see which ones are genuine as opposed to those that are um, opportunists, gossipers, clout chasers, and how should we say, and disruptors of the narrative.
Mhm.
You, my friend, is an original and is one of the rarest people that's on YouTube right now that means what he says and says what he means, and he doesn't be here trying to disrespect people, put people down. He tries to see the best in everyone, and that's a rare, rare thing to see in a man that does this each and every day from what I've seen. So that would be my only advice. Just stay yourself and do not change for nothing, no money, no nothing. And I would be dancing like that every damn day.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to do here too, is also just have you, because there's so much that they did for you after you announced that you're like, I'm retiring mostly from YouTube and stuff like that. So you had your dark council time, you had your own channel time, and so I wanted a chance for you to just give back and share
Yep.
with your own words to
Yeah.
these gentlemen that has helped
I
bring
did
you.
not expect that from you, OG. That got me in my feelings right now.
Yeah, and I know what way we can take care of that. So, and for those who didn't see this from the beginning, and they're asking me about certain clips,
Oh
um,
gosh.
yeah, wrong button though. So,
No, I
so
like that. I like that. That's oh
oh, you're like, oh, too bad,
yeah.
too bad. So let's go ahead and check this out.
I like the little confetti that just comes out.
That was so fun making. I was like, when I clipped that and
That
I went and edited it, I was like, it's blurry, but I don't give a shit. It's still
nah, I
fun. You
know.
see the context
I
of
was in
that.
the moment, baby. I was in the moment. Thank you. Because, like I said, every time I see it, I think about my child. We all having a great time,
Mhm.
and that meant the world to me anyway. So I don't
Yeah.
mind acting a fool in front of my kids. That's all I'm saying.
And he's right on. Everybody knows this about me. I am a wild card here. I am a
Oh, you
wild card.
think?
Yeah. So we're coming to a conclusion here. And what I need to say is this right here is that thank you so much for, encouraging me to step up, creating this channel. It has evolved from its beginning. Everybody's does. And you have been a sincere and huge impact to the greater community within Star Wars and pop culture with what you had to contribute, how you had motivated people, how you had smashed shills down, get yourself, in Twitter jail, all of that. You're a big voice. Not I don't think there's anybody within the greater community, I guess you can say, that has not been influenced by you or has heard your words um, and your stance and has been motivated by them. And so thank you so much for creating that type of legacy for yourself and
Thank
for
you.
others to aspire to. And I greatly appreciate the friendship, all of that you have given me, and your sincere, authentic self. And it means so much to me. And it's I know you're going to be back. I know you are, and you have shit to take care of. We all do. Life happens. But I
Yeah.
know at one point you'll be like making special appearances. You never know. I might have him come here later on and be like, "Oh yeah, he's back," for a little bit. I pulled him out. I pulled him off his little wormhole here.
If anything, you may have the power to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, it depends.
And never forget Abu Ray reaction, top 10 moments ever. I was going to try to get that video and save it for time and memorial of you and your Ray from Jakku rap video about her, or little spew about her. That was amazing. So,
That would
again,
be the
you are
only
an
thing that
influencer.
survives me.
Yeah.
That clip. So it made people happy, and I'm happy. So
Yeah. And then, like I said, like basically an influencer. Thank you so much for contributing to and inspiring many of us. I mean, look at you, inspired Jay, Drunk 3PO. You inspired a lot of people. And I don't think things happen just out of chance.
yeah.
I've never been that kind of person. Things happen for a reason, whether we know what it's about or not. And and creator, whoever you believe in, has his or her special way of uniting people and creating those friendships and all of that. And if there were truly friendships, no matter what goes on between you and your friend, like a discussion that you may not agree with, or
Mhm.
argument that may have you guys be quiet with each other for a few days or whatever, if you were truly meant to be in each other's space and friends,
Yeah.
that would continue. And so thank you for being that with me, even though I teased the heck out of you with certain Disney content.
Mm-hmm.
And we
And
will
you do it
never.
in such a loving way too, just to really nail the damn thing in the coffin. And I have
It's
to
the
say to
Leo in
myself,
me. It's the
that
fire in
yeah,
me.
that's the queen. So I'm just
Yeah,
going to
and that's
stay
a
in my
fun fact.
lane.
We are both Leos. Our birthdays are just 2 days apart or
You
so.
see, you see, if you was a man, then it would be a different conversation. It would be a very different conversation. And yes,
Yes,
our birthdays we're pretty much linked together. So yeah,
yeah.
that kind of endears me to you to say, you know what, she's really just smashing me. I'll just leave it alone. Just let her, just let her. And then I'll go back home and like watch Rogue One by my damn self. I don't
I,
care.
I'm gonna always be that voice in your head when you watch
You
that.
always in my damn head when I'm watching Rogue One. I can see you like, yeah, with your arms folded, and I'm like, watch my movie, please.
And I'm very proud of that. So thank you again. Like I said, this is the exit interview. I use that as a little fun joke because that's how I am. So,
Yes.
but in reality, thank you so much for stepping up and being an influencer to a lot of us. And I greatly appreciate it. And let's go ahead and watch a little, let's watch Vector Prime as we start closing out here. Where is it at? Am I in the right one? Yes, I am. Here we go.
I had fought the worst of all wars and witnessed the redemption of evil. I have seen balance restored to the Force. But order can turn to chaos, as it did when I was born. Now, with my loved ones and my loyal allies, I face a new challenge unlike any before. And I'm not sure this time we can win.
Star Wars Vector Prime by R.A. Salvatore, the first novel of the new Jedi Order.
Yep.
The good
I gotta
stuff.
get that whole series. Yeah, I gotta get that whole series. It was
Okay, that's my assignment to you.
huh?
Report to me. You need to buy the whole series and report to me when you start reading.
Okay, that'll work. Because I haven't gotten to the Yuvong. That was the war, right? The Yuvong
Yeah,
Law.
the Yuzhong Gong War. Yes.
Yuvong Law. Okay, right. I haven't gotten to read. Oh wow,
Darth Toby. Darth
Darth
Toby.
Toby,
Mhm.
the myth, the maker, and the legend.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen some of the pictures that you post with Darth Toby when he gets into his moods.
So with closing here now, do you have anything you want to say to the chat?
To everyone in the chat that's been here since the beginning, for those that might have dipped in and dipped out, for those that is watching the replay, I cannot thank you enough for sitting here, going through my career, as it were, and hopefully it was entertaining to some extent. But at the same time, I am very grateful and humbled for the support, the love, and just you all just wanting to hear what this old man from the sea has to say about his favorite, franchise that went to dirt, and now I have to keep the flames alive. But at the same time, you guys that's in the chat are always the boost that I need to keep doing what I'm doing. And I hope that I can have enriched your lives, even if it's on a small level, that, you like, what you see, you do agree with me on some parts, but at the same time, you know that my heart is in the right place when it comes to George Lucas's Star Wars or any other pop culture thing that I may have a stake in, that I want to see it the way it was intended to be seen. And I thank you all. God bless each and every one of you in all your endeavors. And may God always protect and comfort you in your sorrows and in everything else that you do from now until we are gone.
The fate of the galaxy is now in your hands. With the new LEGO Star Wars Slave One, you can load Captain Solo, arm your weapon systems, man the cockpit, and take off with the most feared ship in the galaxy. But watch out for rebel ships. No matter the enemy, no matter the firepower, you control the action. With the new LEGO Star Wars collection.
Another happy landing.